Hello Booktube, it's me, it's Bethany from BethRecommends, and I'm here today to tell you all the books that I've bought because of Booktube. So let's get into it. This video is basically me highlighting several booktubers over the years that these booktubers were very influential, and they've made me pick up, buy, and some cases they've made me read them too. So I'm here to talk about all those books. I will link all of the channels that I mention in the description box, so if you want to check them out too, then you're free to do so. Let's start off with some onesies, twosies. So I'll start off with The Nix by Nathan Hill. I picked this up and bought this because Simon from Savage Reads, he was very influential. I can't really remember, but the way he described this book, it made me want to read it. Next up is Lillian Boxfish Takes a Walk by Kathleen Rooney. I bought this book because Russell from Ink and Paper blog, he described this very well, and it intrigued me. Russell, you made me buy this, okay? I think it's all about an elderly woman who takes a walk in the city. And I don't know, maybe it's all about her life, I can't remember. But I really wanted to get this when I saw this on sale at the bookstore. Next, I have a couple. These are all of Jean from Jean's Bookish Thoughts doing. So first is Chalky by John Wyndham. I actually did read this in January, and I remember giving it like 3.5 or 4 stars. I really enjoyed this. It's all about a child who now has this being in his mind named Chalky. Is he real? Is he imaginary? Is he good? Is he evil? You'll have to read to find out. And then I also know how much Jean, she loves The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So when I saw this bind-up of all the novels in the series, I had to get this. It's all about a character named Arthur Dent, I believe, and his house is being torn down to make room for a highway. And then, meanwhile, all these aliens are coming and announcing that Earth is about to be blown to smithereens to make space for the intergalactic highway or something. I read the first novel, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and I really loved it. I think I gave it 5 stars. I really loved the humor. I just loved every aspect of this book. So thanks, Jean. Next, I have a few. These are all Daphne du Maurier books I picked up. I found these at one of my local secondhand bookshops, and Lauren from Lauren and the Books made me very intrigued to read some Daphne du Maurier. I haven't gotten to any of these. This is a beautiful edition of Jamaica Inn. These ones are kind of lackluster, but I plan to hopefully get better editions of this. I might keep this one though because I like the font on it. But House on the Strand and Rebecca, of course. So thanks, Lauren. Here is Americana by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. I believe this was between Lauren Wade and Lauren and the Books. I think I watched both of their channels simultaneously. It might have been Lauren Wade first because I discovered her first, and then I discovered Lauren and the Books. And I still haven't read this one, so I guess I have to make this a top priority too. I have a few that I really remember vividly getting because of this particular booktuber. So first off is this one, Summer, by Jillian and Mariko Tamaki. One wrote the story and one illustrated it. I did read this. I remember really enjoying it. although it didn't go in a direction that I thought it was going to go, I still enjoyed reading this. Then I got Anya's Ghost by Vera Broskol. Again, I enjoyed reading this. It was a very quick read for me. I can't remember the rating I gave it. It's been so long. But I remember enjoying this as well. And then finally, the one I haven't read is The Dinner by Herman Koch. These are all books that I've bought because of Sana from Books and Quills. I think her channel was the very first channel that I discovered because I Googled YouTube books, YouTubers and books or something of that nature, and she, along with others, mostly it was a UK list, so that's why I'm mentioning all these UK booktubers right now, is because they are the ones that I discovered first because of the certain list that I came across, like a blog post of all these booktubers that I need to check out, and I was like, oh, Booktube's a thing? Okay, cool. So this all takes place during a dinner, not very, doesn't seem that it would be very fast-paced or anything, but I really was intrigued because of Sana's description of the book. I've already mentioned this booktuber. Oh, books are falling. I've already mentioned this booktuber, Lauren Wade. So she mentioned the following, and I really wanted to pick them up because I saw them on her channel, the way she described them, and the way she just really seemed to love them, so I went and bought them. First off is We Need New Names by No Violet Bulawayo. This is all about a young girl in Africa. I forget which country. I started this, but then I just I wasn't feeling it at the time. Not to say I won't pick it up later, but I really do want to try to read this one again. There was actually a lot of people talking about this, but Lauren, the way that she talked about it, I really, really wanted to get it and read it for myself, is The Sport of Kings, C.E. Morgan, by C.E. Morgan, and it's a lot about race. I think it's set in my home state, which is Ohio. That's where I'm at right now, and like in either that or the Cincinnati, Kentucky border maybe. All about horse racing and about race, and the way that she described it, I really wanted to read it, but I have yet to read it. Also, Did You Ever Have a Family by Bill Clegg. I saw this in a Barnes & Noble value section one day, and I'm like, hey, I heard of this book. I think I want to read it. The way that Lauren, again, described it, it seems to be maybe a little heart-wrenching. I still haven't gotten into it. It seems to be a shorter read than her book, but it seems to be more of a hard-hitting one. So I will hopefully read it soon. No promises though. And then finally, I believe I saw Lauren talk about a brief history of 7 killings by Marlon James. This is all about the assassination attempt on Bob Marley. I think it's like a fictionalized version of something that actually happened in history. I saw this at a Books A Million value section. I'm like, hey, this is a really nice copy of this book, and it was the winner, I believe, winner of the Man Booker Prize, I think back in 2015. So that will tell you how long I've been prowling and lurking on Booktube before I actually started my own channel. I'm always scared. These big books, they always intimidate me a little bit, but I'll try to not let that stop me. Should I attempt to get this big stack of books? Jeez. Okay. Okay, so, there they go. The last booktuber is one of the very first booktubers I've ever seen, watched her videos, love them. I've been loving her videos ever since, and that is the lovely Jen Campbell. As you can see, she's very influential and very persuasive when it comes to describing the books, and there's so many more books that I haven't found that she's talked about for a long time on her channel, such as like Poor Things, Girl Who Circumnavigated Fairyland in a Ship of Her Own Making by Catherine Valente, I think. There's so many more that I have here that, you know. So I'll start off with Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro. It's supposed to be like a magical realism kind of book, and it's supposed to be really hard-hitting, and the way Jen described it, you know, she sold me, you know, along with all these other books. The next, I bought a whole duology because of Jen Campbell, and that is The Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Fry and The Love Song of Miss Queenie Hennessy by Rachel Joyce. This is supposed to be, this one is about Harold. He gets a letter that I think his friend is not doing well. She's perhaps dying, and he's going to walk to her. So that's what this one's about, and this one is like kind of like the sequel, but Jenna said that you could read them in any order. They're both like kind of standalones, but they are related to each other. So there's those two. Another author that I've yet to read, but I very much wanted to, since Jen has praised him to the moon and back. That is Michelle Faber. So I bought The Crimson Petal and the White, and I also bought Book of Stranger New Things. Now I really need to blast through these because I don't want this to be super long. Shallow Graves by Jennifer Donnelly. Book of Speculation, I think, by Erica Swiler. The Paying Guest by Sarah Waters. One that I have read is Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit by Jeanette Winterson, and then I picked up her memoir, Why Be Happy When You Could Be Normal. I want to read this one soon. These are very related. They're both based on her own life. This is semi-autographical. This is very much a memoir, so there's those. Another one that I have read, The Art of Asking by Amanda Palmer. I remember when I got back from the hospital a couple years ago, I still was kind of out of it. And I was trying to get back into reading, and I remember vividly that this was the first book that I picked up ever since coming home from the hospital. This is a book that's very near and dear to my heart. So thanks, Jen. And then also The Underground Girls of Kabul by Jenny Nordberg. Still haven't gone to this one. So, yeah, those are all the books that I have read or bought, or both, and loved because of Booktube. So, what books have you guys bought because of Booktube? Are there any other Booktubers that I haven't mentioned that were very persuasive? Or, what books have you bought because of Booktube? Are there any other Booktubers not mentioned in my video that have been very influential in your buying of your books? Let's have a conversation about it. So, again, my Twitter and my Instagram will be in the description box below, and all the channels I mentioned will be in the description box below, so you can check them out. Happy reading, and until next time, I'll be trying to read these books. So, goodbye.